Annie here from the Pleasant Hills Public Library, and I'm so excited that you're here with me today for STEAM Stories. Today we're going to be reading The Day It Rained Hearts. But before we get to that, let's review. What does STEAM mean? Do you remember what all the letters stand for? Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And today we will be using all of those subject areas for our STEAM activity of making some very special Valentine's Day pop-up cards. It's pretty cool. There are many different theories and legends as to how Valentine's Day began. One story goes that in ancient Rome, the Emperor Claudius II had banned marriage of all of his soldiers because he believed that unmarried men made better soldiers. One theologian, Valentinus, disagreed with this rule and performed marriages quietly on the side. He was eventually caught and sentenced to death on February 14th. And the legend goes that the day before his execution, he wrote the very first Valentine to the jailer's daughter who he had fallen in love with, and signed it, "From your Valentine." Now, there's no proof that that actually happened, and Valentine's Day didn't become an official holiday till a couple centuries later. But it's a nice story, isn't it? Speaking of stories, let's get to our title story today. This is The Day It Rained Hearts, written and illustrated by Felicia Bond, and read today with permission of HarperCollins Publishing. Oh, there's a heart. One day, it started raining hearts. That would be some crazy weather. And Cornelia Augustus caught one. And then she caught another. And another. It wasn't very hard, so she caught some more. It must be getting close to Valentine's Day, she thought. And she set to work making valentines. The hearts she caught would make perfect cards. Cornelia Augustus saw that all of her hearts were different. She looked at each one, from the front and the back and the side, and decided which ones would be just right for each of her friends. She found 7 that were more or less alike and strung them together with a needle and thread. "I know just the right person for this one," she thought. Then Cornelia Augusta took an especially handsome heart and pasted it onto a piece of paper. In the center of the heart she glued a cotton ball, one that was very white and very soft. And she knew instantly who this card would be for. Cornelia Augusta had 8 hearts left. On the largest one she drew circles and then very carefully cut them out. The other hearts were so small she arranged all of them on one piece of paper, and around the heart she painted patterns of many colors, and then she folded her design in half. There was no doubt in her mind who would receive these. Cornelia Augusta put a stamp on each of her valentines and mailed them. It never rained hearts again, not where Cornelia Augustus lived anyway. Look, the whole one's for the mouse, and the dog got the chain. He's wearing it as a necklace, a collar. Looks like a turtle. But it didn't matter, because the next year, and the next, and all the years after that, Cornelia Augusta found other ways to make valentines. In that story, Cornelia Augusta made valentines that were perfect for each of her friends. The exchanging of Valentine's Day cards has an interesting history, so let's take a look at some old valentines while we learn a little bit more about the history of the Valentine's Day card.
The oldest surviving romantic valentine is from 1415. Frenchman Charles, the Duke of Orleans, was imprisoned in the Tower of London, and he wrote a love poem to his wife that repeatedly uses the phrase Valentine. Many historians believe that Valentine's Day cards come from the German tradition of giving friendship cards on birthdays and anniversaries. Sometime during the 18th century, the practice caught on in Europe and America. The practice increased in the 19th century as sending things in the mail became cheaper and mass production became possible. By the mid-19th century, boxed punch-out cards were available and classroom card exchanges became tradition. Today, over 1 billion Valentine's Day cards are exchanged in the United States alone. Do you plan to exchange any Valentine's Day cards this year?
Let's read one more story before we get to our STEAM challenge today. This is If You'll Be My Valentine, written by Cynthia Ryland, illustrated by Fumi Kazako, and read today with permission of HarperCollins Publishing. And maybe it'll give you some ideas for some fun poetry verses you can put in your Valentine's Day cards. Oh, he's got so many cards, he's dropping them. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll kiss you on the nose. I'll scratch your ears and rub your head and pet your little toes. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll give you extra treaties. I'll give you 2 or maybe 3, and I'll let you lick my feeties. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll take you on a walk. I'll pull the wagon just for you, and we can sing and talk. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll write a special letter. I'll add some hugs and kisses, too, to make it even better. That's for his grandma. That's so nice. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll sit with you today. We'll read a book about some frogs if you don't want to play. I think that must be his big brother. That's nice. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll take you in my car. You'll sit up front so you can look, but we won't go too far. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll sing a song for you. And when you fly up in the sky, then you can sing one too. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll pour our tea at 3, spicy cookies and an orange just for you and me. If you'll be my Valentine, I'll make you funny faces. You can make them back at me when we go different places. If you'll be my Valentine, then I'll be one for you. We'll love the trees and all the world. And we'll love each other too. Happy Valentine's Day. And now, friends, let's learn some different ways to make pop-up cards so you can make your own Valentine's Day cards to give to someone special in your life. Let's head on over to the craft table. We are offering a take-home kit with supplies you'll need to make a pop-up card. Our kit includes a glue stick, a ruler, and some construction paper. You will also need a pencil, a pair of scissors, and then something to decorate and draw on your card with, whether that's crayons, colored pencils, or markers. It's up to you. Our kit includes enough paper to make 1 card, so if you want to make more, you're going to need some more construction paper. Our kit includes the instructions to make a parallel fold, which is a pretty basic element of pop-up cards. In this video, though, I'm going to show you a couple other elements that you can add to your card to make it really pop. So you can better understand how to do it, I'm going to move the camera over here so you get an up-close view of how to make these folds. Are you ready? A parallel fold is perhaps the most basic element in pop-up cards and pop-up books. It looks like this when it's cut and folded, and when you open it, ta-da! It creates a little area that you can glue something on. Here's an example of a card that uses a parallel fold, actually a couple parallel folds, and then some accordion folds for these hearts. So, to make a parallel fold, you're going to start by picking what color paper you want to be on the inside. You're going to fold it in half like this, and use your ruler and pencil and decide where you want to make those folds. You're going to use your pencil to draw 2 parallel lines that are the same length And you can experiment. Here, we'll do a couple. We'll do one that's 1 inch, another that's 2 inches, and just for fun, let's try one that's 3 inches. It's really important that you're making these lines along the fold, and that's where we are going to cut as well. And we want to keep them parallel and equal as best we can. Take your scissors and go ahead and cut along that fold so you're cutting through both layers of paper. All right, so now we have kind of fringed paper. This next part is the trickiest part. You're going to open it up and you're going to kind of push your folds inward. And I like to press on the fold on the other side to get it to kind of stay a little bit better. And then popping them in, and this is tricky, we're going to fold up that card. Might be easiest to do one at a time. Let's try it that way. When you close your card, you'll want to press this part here, the fold inward, so that it stays. So we have one. Let's do the other one now. You want to keep that as even as possible too. And this second one I did here didn't quite go as far as I cut, but it kept it even. And let's do our last one, our small one. Oh, that one's not quite straight, but I think that's still going to work out. There we go. So now we have 3 different areas that have parallel folds of different lengths and depths, and we can cut out different shapes, or if you have stickers, you can put them on there, so that when the person opens up the card, ta-da! It's got a cool 3D effect. Now, you don't really want to hand somebody a card with all these holes, plus it makes it kind of fragile. So then you'll want another piece of paper, fold it in half, and use your glue stick to cover this whole area, making sure not to cover on where the cuts are, but you'll want here and here and here, so that when you open it, you give it to them, it'll be like just a cool plain paper, and then ta-da! Magic 3D pop. Now on my example card, I also had these little hearts that used an accordion fold, which is a pretty basic fold as well. You'll need a strip of paper, whatever size you want. I do caution against using something too long though, because it gets warped. So a little one, and you're going to fold it one way, and then the other way, and back and forth until you've folded the entire strip of paper to make that accordion. Ooh. Then you'll glue one side down and glue or stick something on the other side so that when they open the card, it pops. That's pretty cool, huh, friends? Pop. There's another fun fold I'd like to show you called the coil fold. Now, you can do an actual coil like my example here, or like my example Valentine's Day card. You could do a heart that coils. This hand uses that accordion fold that we just learned about. And here we have the heart that goes. So to do this, you'll need your piece of paper. You're going to want to draw your shape, so we'll do a heart. And then you're going to draw kind of where you're going to cut without overlapping. And my heart's not going to be exactly all right, but that's okay. See how it zoops in? And then cut that out along your line. So when it's all cut out, you'll have a flat heart, but then you can pull it up like that. And when you want to add it to your card, you'll glue one end of the coil down on one side of the card and one end of the coil down on another, so that when the card opens up, it looks like that. So let's take our pink paper here. We could glue it like this. And then when it's closed, whoosh, whoosh. Pretty cool, huh, friends? The last fold that I want to show you today is an angle fold, and it's kind of customizable. So we're going to do a basic angle fold, a lips angle fold, and then a heart angle fold. So when you do one of these, you have to draw the angle that you want here. And that's where we're going to cut out so that when you open it, it's like this. This has kind of got a semi-oval shape to it. To make lips, you just actually cut a straight line, and we're going to fold back so that it opens up like this. And then the heart, which is extra special for Valentine's Day. You draw the heart, and this is important. You don't cut out the whole heart. You're going to cut up to here and around here so that when the card is opened, ta-da, a heart pops up. Here's my example for you with some flowers sticking out. Ta-da! And then I glued the flowers to the back of the heart there, so it looks like a flower vase with those sticking out. So let's practice. Start by taking a piece of paper and folding it in half. Then you're going to use your pencil, I'm going to move it this way, and draw your angles. So let's start with kind of a circle. Let's see how that turns out. And now I'm going to get my half circle, and I'm going to cut it out. And then just like with that parallel fold, you're going to pop it in. And the angle fold is tricky because you only cut the one line. So then you have to see how far it goes. Push down like so. And let's see what it looks like when we open it up. Oh, that one actually kind of turned out like a heart. I didn't even mean for that to happen. Isn't that cool? Now for the lips, like I said before, you don't want to do a straight line. You can use your ruler. You're going to draw your line, again, along that fold. Give it a cut. Now this one is more tricky. You're going to pop it in. And see. Alright, so we got one side in. We're going to do that other side. There are going to be some big lips. I didn't quite mean for them to be that big, but that's okay. Whoa, work with me here, paper. There we go. All right, fold that down. Whoa, yes, you see that? Oh, how delightful. And you could draw a face or a frog or whatever you wanted to be giving that kissy face. Now for the heart, let's practice that one. Again, fold your paper in half and draw a half heart along the paper. Oops. Let me fix that heart there. I want it to have a nice shape. Now remember, we are not going to cut out this whole thing. We're going to leave about this much of it, probably about an inch, 2 inches, yeah, about an inch and a half, where we are not going to cut. So we will cut up to there, and then from the other side and around to give it that heart shape, we'll cut like that. So see how I left a good bit there? That secures it to your paper. Open it up, push that part out, and then fold down where it's still attached, and let's see, ta-da! Now here's a fun trick for cutting out hearts. So if you want to have some heart designs on your cards, you can do this along the fold. You're just going to draw a half a heart, and you can do great big or even little, or you could even do, you know what, let's do a heart inside of a heart. And this time we are going to cut out that whole line. So first we'll start with the one that's inside. And I'll do this great big one. And we'll do this little one. So then, when we open them up, ta-da, ta-da, ooh la la, we've made some hearts. And on your paper where you cut it out, you also have hearts. So you could do that and have your background paper show through like that. That's a pretty
Feel free
neat
to
design.
combine the different types of folds into your cards. You can use only one fold or all of them, whatever you want to do. And we would love to see your completed projects. You can send us some pictures of your cards to pleasanthills@einetwork.net, or post them to our special Facebook group, Pleasant Hills Library Virtual Programming. Ooh, and before I forget, one more tip on making your cards. When you're gluing things down, try not to close your card until the glue has dried. And that's why it's nice to use a glue stick, because it dries pretty quick. So let me show you two of the cards that I made using the different folds. This one has the parallel folds that we did, 1, 2, and 3, and a coil fold. Pretty cool. I will say that that 3-inch parallel fold makes the item stick out, so maybe don't do quite that long unless you don't mind the thing sticking out. And this one has our angle folds and the cutouts. I really liked how that looked. Well, friends, that's all we have for today. I hope you've enjoyed our STEAM Stories program, and we'll be back in a couple weeks to learn all about outer space with the story May Among the Stars about the famous astronaut Mae Jemison. All right, friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!